becomes a hub itself. The fans in those stadiums are capturing content through mobile apps, which are not called mobile apps anymore. They are now becoming terminals. The fan with his own terminal will connect to the stadium, and through that terminal, the fan will be able to speak one-to-one with the content generated by those stadiums and the broadcasting of that content to other stadiums. So let's see the situation again. We're in 2030. We are at the final World Cup, and this match happens somewhere in the world, and that match is going to be broadcasted to empty stadiums in something like 60 cities of the world, where inside the stadium you don't have the real players. The real players are playing in the city which the match is being organized. The stadium has the technology to regenerate with 3D and holographic images the real match. So stadiums, empty stadiums will be full of people watching the match, which is happening in another city of the world. In the other way as well, empty stadium. Let's say another case. Another case now we are talking about a second league club that doesn't attract enough people, and the stadiums are empty. Through the terminal, fans anywhere in the world will be able to increase the volume of the speakers of the stadium, so they will be cheering through their mobile phones into the stadium speakers. So they create the illusion for the soccer players that while they are playing, the stadium is full of people as it will be playing the final in Wimbledon. So the model of creating this convergence between what we call the analog world, which is the world we live in nowadays, all of us think analog. We might all have a Facebook account, Twitter account, maybe we are involved in social network, but we still think analog. Analog means that we are still in a physical world. We have a very big difficulty in our generation to project yourself into a total digital virtual world, where there's no boundaries, where you can replicate activities one-to-one anywhere in the world with the same quality as if you would be broadcasting in your own city. Now this is a very big opportunity because the internet needs to be decentralized. I was last week with the government of Brazil, where they're saying Brazilians are very much concerned that data is being transferred to Amazon, to Facebook. We want our data to be in our country. And we want, by the way, that our stadiums collect that data and store the data in data centers that will be located in our country. Now here we have the present environment now in the world. Look at the quantity of the stadiums that we have. All of them, they are in an analog world. All of them could become a hub for the city, and interconnecting of them, you will have one of the most powerful business models the history of soccer has ever seen. Because it will allow not anymore to have the physical stadiums acting as places where you go to see matches, but acting as places where 1.2 billion fans around the world, they can connect and have an experience. My company is helping FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, Santos, and many other clubs in Latin America on a very simple problem. Real Madrid makes 400 million euros on selling merchandising and ticketing to 18 million fans. Barcelona is in the same situation, makes around that same of money, and only targets fans that they work physically in the stadium or that they buy their content through traditional method. But the problem of Barcelona or Real Madrid, who says those teams, says any Champions League team, is to say, every time Barcelona plays with Real Madrid, we have 1.3 billion eyeballs looking at our matches, and we are not monetizing them. We don't know how to monetize them. Who monetizes them? Facebook does. You know how much Facebook makes for every fan Ronaldo has in a Facebook fans page? They make $12 per fan. And only Ronaldo has 60 million fans in Facebook. Now you multiply 60 times 12 and you get the number. Ronaldo's making no money out of that. Real Madrid is not making any money out of that. It's actually Facebook. So why do you need Facebook? Why do we need to put our data in Facebook if what we want to do is to connect directly with the fans? Here you have a brand, and here you have a fan. And each of them, they want to have an emotional, that was another word Mr. Blatter said this morning, football is emotional. So ask to any international, multinational social media company, what is the #1 priority for them is creating emotion. And football has the emotion. So what is the future is happening here is that those media hubs are able now to interconnect through digital identification. So every fan has a digital ID. When we help Barcelona or Real Madrid, and you download an app, by the way, you can now download the IFA app, which is being developed in cooperation with my company, and IFA, you become a member of the ecosystem of the club. So from that day on, anyone that wants wants to talk to you, let's say Nike, because Nike wants to sell merchandising, let's say an airline company that wants to transport you from the day that a match has been played in one city, and that day 30,000 people have to travel one city to another. Let's say a hotel that wants to host those visitors. Anyone that wants to connect to that CRM has to talk to the club. The club also has another dimension, which is an educational dimension. We are working with Boca Junior in the United States to issue an identity to every young soccer player that plays football in schools, academic, very, very entry-level schools. And the app basically calculates the performances of the young player, which is rated by a coach. So the coach will rate this young guy has performed very well over the last 6 months, and that profile is being posted to social media to the world. Obviously, that gives intelligence to the club to start to identify where in the world is the next Messi, where in the world is the next Ronaldo, because this analytics is owned by the club. The difference here is that the analytics and the data and the big data is not owned by telcos, it's not owned by Facebook, it's not owned by social media. It's owned by the club, for the club, and for the fans. Because the only thing the club has beyond their spectacle and emotion is the fan. The fan is the final destination. If the fans are happy, the club is happy, and the club will progress. So obviously, we are back again in 2030. This ID that I have issued as a fan, I can do many things with it. I can access the stadium with it. I don't have tickets anymore. If the club authorizes me and the legislation authorizes me, I can do online betting. I can do many things because that identity belongs to my club and because I am personally, emotionally related to the club. Technology is going to evolve in a way that those 50 billion devices, that they are devices interconnected to the net, 2020 will be 50 billion devices, will issue services to those IDs. Let's say I'm an Audi. Audi is a sponsor of my club. Audi would like to fans to use the same ID to open the door of the car. So you will start to merge ecosystems, and currently they are not possible to merge because we're still thinking as analog, but we're getting there. And this is an unseen opportunity for this sector, and it's a huge opportunity to monetize back again soccer teams, which in many cases they are suffering a huge crisis. Thank you.